Hi guys, I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to a much more casual setting to a video. I do have a box light on me because it's so dark in my flat right now. I've got all the lights on, like it's just so dark that we're gonna grin and bear the fact that these look a little bit different to normal. I would use natural lighting, but it's really not working. So we're gonna go with it. We're just gonna make it work. We're gonna let it happen. And I do slightly feel like I'm on the set of This Morning or something, sharing my Christmas tips, I'm not gonna lie. But today's video is going to be all about realistic goal setting. And this is the kind of video that is good for you if you are someone who likes to set New Year's resolutions, you don't stick to them, or you want to know how to stick to them, how to make those resolutions last, or just kind of look at things a little bit differently. Because I don't know about you, but I've noticed this year that everyone is definitely getting more into the goal setting and habit tracking mindset. Like everyone is definitely, that I've seen anyway, really into like forming those habits that are long lasting and just getting the most out of your New Year's resolution, whereas previously we've all said the same kind of things, like giving up alcohol, stopping biting your nails, stopping smoking, like all those kind of things. But I really wanted to talk you through how to set realistic goals from my perspective. So this is how I've been doing it. So how I kind of put those manifestation goals out there for really big things like buying a house, and how I will do the stepping stones to get to that thing. So setting the big goal, and then how I do the little goals that lead me up to it. There will be a video coming in a couple of days time talking you through how I create a vision board, which is a very highly requested video from a lot of you when you've seen me posting like vision board stuff in the past. So that's going to be coming in a few days time. But I thought I would get this one up first because the vision board one is great, but I feel like this is kind of like the framework to get you to that vision board. So how to kind of put in those mini steps to really make that vision board work for your year or your 5 years or however long it is that you are setting that board for. Because I know some people do them for 5 years, some have like indefinite boards that just keep changing. I personally like setting 12 months ones on the 1st of January that I see what I can achieve by the end of that year. So really like focusing in on the things that I want that year. So yes, I might want to buy a mansion in the future, but that's probably not going to happen this year. That's going to be a future goal. So do you get my drift? I think you do. So you're probably thinking, what is a realistic goal? How do you determine whether something is realistic? And that's really simple. A realistic goal is one that you can achieve with your current skills, abilities, mindset, time frame, etc. So one that would be reachable right now, one that you could start working towards this second, that is something that you know could definitely happen. So for example, if you had a big goal of buying a house, then your realistic goals to do with buying that house would be little things that kind of get you there. So finding a good mortgage advisor, sitting down and going through your finances and working out anything you can cut or what you can realistically afford to save every month. Things like decluttering to get rid of things that you don't need anymore, to make some money towards that finance pot, like all those little mini things that you need to do. So for example, to get a little bit manifesty and law of attraction-y up in here, if I was, for example, wanting to move house, but I know that I've got a lot of stuff and I know that I want to move and have like a more minimal house, or I'm moving to somewhere that maybe has more space but I don't need to fill it with all the stuff that I've got. One of my goals to get ready for that house move would be to declutter the house I've already got, because if I'm decluttering, I'm kind of giving the universe that signal that I really want to move house, and letting the universe know that like I'm on this path and I'm ready. Like I'm ready to move, I'm ready to go for the next step, I'm clearing things out so that I've got less to pack. Like you're kind of just letting the universe know that you're ready. Likewise with kind of going through your finances. If you're actively going through your finances and working out your outgoings and really realistically working out what you can save or any kind of app subscriptions that you can get rid of, you're proving to the universe that you are making those steps to be able to save money, because you're actively stopping spending as much and cutting those things that maybe cost you a bit more than they should. I also think it's really important to focus on those sustainable goals. So really think about, if you want to save, for example, £40,000 this year for whatever it might be, think about if 40,000 is realistic for you. If 40,000 is maybe a little bit too much of a stretch, but you know that you could definitely save 5,000 or 10,000, then maybe just give yourself that little bit of leeway and push for saving 20. Meet at like half point, because if you know that you can save 20, the universe might reward you with letting you save more than that, or it might be a little bit kind of reachable still. But I always find that if my big overarching goal is like £40,000, I will kind of, if I'm being realistic about the goal, then I'll kind of bring it back a little bit and say, do you know what? I know that I could definitely save £10,000 this year if I declutter stuff, if I save things, if I cut some of my expenditures. You can know for a fact that I'm going to get that kind of amount of money, and then you're almost testing the universe to see if you can get those extra little bits too. Another really important thing to think about is your daily routine, because if you haven't already heard the quote, it's one of my favorites: if nothing changes, nothing will change. If you are going about your life in the same way that you always have done, you can't expect big things to change because you're not changing anything about your life. If you suddenly want to lose 10 pounds, you're not going to lose that 10 pounds unless you change something about what you're already doing. If you want to save money, you're not going to save that money unless you're changing the spending habits that you've already got. You need to really focus on making sure that you change those little habits. So for example, if you had a goal that was to go to the gym 5 times a week because you really want to get into a healthy mindset, really focus on that strength and that health that you really want to build. So if you are someone who is maybe wanting to, for example, do 5 gym sessions a week but you work full time, those little habits that you have which will change your day and ultimately get you that goal would be things like putting your gym clothes on the end of your bed, or like by the side of your bed in the morning so that you can get up and put them straight on. That minimizes a lot of time finding them. Going to bed a little bit earlier, setting your alarm for 30 minutes earlier than you normally would, or like snoozing a little bit less. All those little tiny things that kind of set you up for the big goal of 5 times a week, because as we all know, it takes a certain amount of time to build a habit. I want to say it's like 21 days or something. So after you've built that habit, it will become second nature to you, but you need to change those little parts of your day to get that habit in place to then make that change happen. So whatever your big realistic goal is, there's all those little stepping stones that you need to hit, because those little small habits every single day are the things that really help to change our lives in the long term and create the space for those big things to happen, like getting a new job or buying a new house. Like all those things need the mini little stepping stones to get us there. So the realistic goals would be the stepping stones. So if you're looking to buy a house, that's your kind of big overarching goal, but your realistic goals are saving the money, getting the mortgage advisor, all the little tiny bits, if that makes sense. And one thing I think is really important if you're setting New Year's resolutions and you want to be realistic is to create a vision board, because a vision board not only helps with the universe, helping you to attract all those things into your life, but it also helps you to see them every day so that you can really focus on each of the goals and try really hard to bring them into your forefront, let them happen naturally, and just kind of show you every day what it is that you're working towards. Because I think it's really easy for us all to have these goals and these kind of dreams for our future where we think, do you know what, I'd really love to own a bigger house, I'd really love to start a family, I'd really love to buy a new car. But it goes to the back of your mind very quickly if you're not actively focusing on it and visualizing it and wanting it to happen. So vision boards are a really good tool. As I've said, there's a video coming up in a couple of days' time. But a vision board is basically where you put pictures and like visual things, so you could write words on there or however you find works best for you. I have a mix of both, but you can find like templates and things on Canva. So if you wanted to create a vision board and you don't want to start from like a blank screen and just kind of add things to it, Canva has these really great templates, which means that you can kind of write things or add pictures, and they kind of prompt you a little bit, which is really handy, I think. But a vision board is a great way to visualize those huge goals, but then I also recommend having a list or a visual of the smaller goals as well. So for example, if you wanted to buy a house, we're going to keep using that example because I feel like it's a big one. Set the intention of every single part of that house you want. If you have a specific new build development nearby or a style of house that's really popular where you live that you want, be really specific about the house that you want and put that house on your vision board. Put a picture of someone holding some keys. Put a like text of homeowner or something on your screen. Have that as your big vision board goal. But then on a smaller vision board, you could have a picture of your bank account, like your bank balance, and you can Photoshop the amount of money that you would want in that bank account. Or you could do a check that is a check to deposit of my future house, and then put the amount that you want to be saving for that deposit, whether it's 20, 50, 70 grand, whatever it might be. That would be your smaller goals. So they would be the things that are kind of more attainable, and it just helps to have the two. So I tend to have both. I have my big goals and I have my realistic goals, but they all kind of interlink. So your realistic goals don't have to mean that you're not doing and aiming for those bigger goals. It means that you're still on the way. It's just giving you those stepping stones that really help you to get there. And I personally believe that if you are setting yourself this big overarching goal, you almost need those little mini stepping stones to get you there, and you need to focus on those, because if you focus on those, you will be way more motivated to hit the big goal. Because I don't know about you, but the thought of buying a house is very, very, very daunting until I think about all the mini little steps that I need to take to get there. Because the steps like saving the money for the deposit, getting a mortgage advisor, focusing on my finances, like all those little things, as soon as you start ticking those off, you realize just how close that is. I'm not saying that it's easy to buy a house. It's absolutely not. I know that it's a big deal. I know that it's really difficult in this climate. I'm currently experiencing it myself. But I just think hitting those little check boxes just helps you to kind of keep the motivation and feel like you're just one step closer every time, and one more hurdle is taken over and one more thing has happened, and it just makes it kind of feel like you're going up that staircase and you're getting closer to it. Likewise with things like going to the gym all the time. If you've got a weight loss goal or you've got a strength goal or something, set like mini goals within that. So for example, for my training for this year, if you've seen my other vlogs, you'll kind of know a bit about this, but I really wanted this year to lose weight. I wanted to lose weight, I wanted to tone up, I wanted to hit the gym every day and really focus on improving my health and well-being, but ultimately I did want to lose weight. And I started this year doing that. I was going to the gym all the time. My first goal was to make sure that I hit 5 times a week in the gym consistently for 3 or 4 months. I did it. Then it was, I really wanted to make sure that I hit certain strength goals. So I would give myself mini little targets every now and then. So I'd say like, right, I've hit whatever weight on a squat, I want to hit this weight next. Or I really want to focus more on my nutrition now. And like, I'd give myself mini little goals. Whereas now, I'm a year into my training, I've been consistent, I've kept to that, I've stuck to that goal, and I'm so proud of myself for doing it. There has been little kind of changes along the way and little hurdles. There's been things that have kind of diverted off path, like I've ended up reverse dieting, which if you don't know what that is, there's a whole explanation in another vlog, I'll leave it linked. But it just means that my goals now are different towards that. So right now, one of my goals is I want to be able to run a half marathon. So I want to start going for runs all the time. I'm going to download the Nike Run Club app. I'm going to find one of the training programs and I'm going to train myself for a half marathon. I've booked one in a few months time and I'm going to train for that and hopefully attain it. That's a fitness goal that is like small bite-sized chunks that I can tick off really quickly, but lead me to my overarching goal of being stronger, fitter, healthier, etc. If that makes sense. Do you see what I'm saying? I feel like I'm very much going off on a tangent, but hopefully you've gained some insight in this video into how to set realistic goals and how to stick to them, because it honestly is all about those daily habits, those little parts of your day, of your week, of your month that really help you to hit those targets. Because like I said, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Nothing will happen in your life any different unless you make the changes yourself to get there. And it's really important to focus on those small habits and grow those little things that will help you in the long term. But if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more from me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.